Well, hello. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you happen to be watching this. For me, it is noon, Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. It has been 5 weeks, I think, since the last time I streamed. That doesn't necessarily mean things haven't been happening. It just, between vacations and other stuff, like actually setting up time to stream has been a little bit challenging. And if you follow me personally on Twitter, you'll know that yesterday I didn't stream because I was power washing everything. I didn't finish, but also when I woke up this morning, I'm like, yeah, I think I'll finish next week and not today. So today you're going to get some streaming. So in case you hadn't heard the news, we are doing, in concert with the .NET team, at least one more V2 release. There was a really important bug for them that needed to get fixed. It was a bug that only they were hitting. And so part of the deal I made with them was that they would provide someone to basically take care of doing V2 release stuff. Claire, who is a longtime contributor to the project, got us up and running again on the V2 branch CI in GitHub Actions. And so we have V2 branches now building in MyGet. In fact, let's just go ahead and take a look at that. Let's pop up into here and go to MyGet. So if you go to the MyGet gallery, MyGet.org gallery XUnit, that is where all of our stuff lives. And you'll notice that the V2 packages are flowing again. So here's a 242 pre-11 build from 11 days ago, which is apparently the last time V2 code got checked in. We're going to fix that today, I think. We're also going to do, at the same time, or coordinated to be roughly the same time, we're going to make a new XUnit analyzers build. That'll be 1.0. That's long been past due to get a build. So there are 0.12.0 builds here for the moment. It is my plan to just push that up to V1 later. If you're curious, the last RTM build of this was 0.10.0. So why is this 0.12 and not 0.11? The answer is pretty simply because I changed the build process, and the old system used sort of an invariant build number from app there, where we used to build stuff, whereas now we're using the nerd bank git versioning. I think that's what it is, which takes a height. So this 18 means there's been 18 commits since we changed to 0.12.0. That number is obviously a lot lower than the 0.11.0 build was, so I just bumped the version. Plus we're going to 1.0, so who cares, right? And then, of course, when we get down into the XUnit v3 stuff, you'll see that we still have a 0.10 pre-release here. 19 days ago is the last time anything got pushed to that. So not much going on in the last couple of weeks, but certainly stuff has been happening since 5 weeks ago. And then today we're planning to move to sort of backport the v3 assertions. So into v2. So I know I said that we were going to have the .NET team handle the v2 work. This backported assertions thing I wanted to do myself just because I think it would take longer to tell somebody how to do it than to just do it myself. And I needed something to stream today anyway. So this is kind of an easy one. I think this is going to be a short-ish stream today as a result, which is good because I have other things to do around the house anyway. So there you go. So this is the v2 branch. I have two separate folders locally, XUnit and XUnit.v2. They're both They're both using the XUnit stuff. It's just that this one is on the v2 branch and this one is on the main branch. So I have it cloned twice so that I can easily bounce between the two without having to do a branch change. So I have the v2 stuff open in Visual Studio. One thing you notice about v2 that I'm not planning to change is that these are some pretty old targets. Minimum for .NET Framework is 4.5.2, and minimum for .NET Core is 1.0. A lot of this stuff is out of support at this point, but I'm not planning to make any changes there. Right, I just want this to be a fairly small incremental release, and I don't want to sort of upset any of that stuff. I did announce on Twitter that for V3, we are bumping up the minimum version of .NET Core from 2.1 to 3.1 because 2.1 just went out of support in August. So, yeah, that's definitely happening. Okay, so we pull in the assertion library as a Git submodule. And so, like, for example, you'll see in this asserts folder, this is a .git file and a git attributes, because this is actually like for real a Git submodule. It just happens to be a Git submodule that if I come here and look, and let's do git k all in the assert project, you'll see that dev is way behind main. Sure, whatever. All the way back here, this is where we have a v2 branch and a bunch of tags. And what I want to do is, I think I just want to bring this stuff in to v3 and see whether it'll just build, right? Because I have maintained C#6 minimum for this library. Shouldn't have an issue building this for v2. I guess we'll find out, right? So if I were to, the first thing I'm going to do is let's just start bringing this over. And let's go into source xunit assert asserts. All right, let's fetch here. And then let's do a hard reset to main, which is 6790E, right? That's what we saw here, 6790E, good. And let's just see what happens. A lot of features are gated based on pound-defined flags. So it looks like where we are, we don't have memory, and we don't have span. See, now I thought this stuff was hidden behind a flag for like xunit span. I mean, am I wrong? Did we not have xunit span? So we have xunit span and equality asserts, but not here. So the span asserts should entirely be, if xunit span. So that's an easy fix. If xunit span, and if. And then the other half of that is the memory asserts. We're going to put that behind same xunit span. And then as long as we're here, I have this open in VS Code on the assert side. I also want to put the README xunit optimized versions, which use span and or memory of t based components. I'm talking from that supports span of t and memory of t. You should find xunit span to enable these new assertions. Okay, so that should get me to build here. String does not contain an as span. Right, so string asserts right now depends on span. That's going to be a little bit challenging, isn't it? Like, I think I'm going to have to replace this with a version that doesn't require span. Which means probably looking back in history to this version of this. Right, so what's the easiest way to do this? I guess the easiest way to do this would be to come over here. Update for v2 backport. I'm going to just start this commit process over here, even though I'm not ready to push that yet, just so I can branch switch easily. So let's go to the v2 branch. Okay. And that would be this. So let's go to string asserts. And that's going to be this. Right, so that's going to be that. So that has the same, that has the same arguments, which, by the way, one of the things I want to do here is obviously, oops, this formatted, I missed this formatting at some point. Easy enough though, right? Okay, so that's the nullable. The comment is probably the same, because I don't think anything has changed about the behavior of this, just that it got implemented in terms of spans. Okay, so then we have this can go away, and then this is going to come up there. All right. So this will be if x units span, and then this will come in here. So that should get us a spanless implementation. That's the old implementation from v2. And then these functions really only need to be here for span as well. For not span, I should say. If not x units span, and we'll take those. Okay. All right. So now we have a building assert. But that's not the entire story, right? I want to go back to main now, because I have all of these things in the README that I can turn on. So I want to turn on nullable. Like this is really the thing people want the most. They want the nullable annotations to just kind of work here. So for assert, I want to turn on nullable. Nullable enable. And then I also want to do, forget, what is the name of the thing that turns on flags? That's really dumb for me to forget. It's like define, something define. Why am I losing my mind? Define constants. There you go. Define constants. I'm going to turn on x unit nullable. All right, so we don't have the nullable attributes. That's because in order to enable nullable in our build, we also need to bring in some stuff from, this is the v3 branch over here in VS Code. We need to bring in some stuff from here to enable nullable. So that would be the reference assembly annotator as a package reference. So we're going to go ahead and do that here on group. Actually, I have the whole thing there, and just paste that. And then, that's really not what I wanted. Thanks. And then we also need to bring in this package download for the Netcore app ref. Okay. So that gets me nullable now. Right. Right, that gets me nullable. Excellent. What else is in the README? So we know we can't use span. I don't think we can use value task. Let's give it a shot. But my guess is that value task is too old. Yeah, value task is... sorry, not the value task is too old. Net standard 1.1 is too old to take advantage of value task. So basically what we're getting out of this is we're getting nullable. That's what we're getting. Okay. So we need to head over to the unit tests. Basically, I want to bring all the unit tests in. And so what did we do here? So memory asserts and span asserts and string asserts, we need all of those to come over, right? So let's grab this, copy string asserts, span asserts, memory asserts. All right, so there we go. We've got if x unit span there, if x unit span there, and then the non-span version of all of this. Lastly, so this already has an editor config for tabs. So this is a full editor config. Okay, so that's okay. Now we need tests. Tests are in their own folder, not the source folder here. Test xunit assert, right? Asserts are fi. I think we just delete all the CS files. And then do an X copy of the xunit source xunit v3 assert tests star.cs. I think I'd do it like that. With just a regular copy. I think. No, that is not what I intended to do. Or did I? Yeah, that was wrong. Maybe I should do it with xcopy. I can do source and destination. Yeah, maybe I can do this with xcopy. It'll be /r Alright, star.cs to here. Oh, R is overwrite read-only files. I think it must be S. Subdirectories. Okay. I really don't want that obj directory. Or bin directory if one happens to exist. what we are going to want is, I'm going to shut down Visual Studio for just a minute. It doesn't seem to like me just kind of randomly swapping out editor config files underneath, in my experience. So let's grab editor config and put it here. You're not a root. And in reality, all I want to do is I want to say probably that. And then everything else could maybe go away. Let's see what happens when I format here. That's weird. I feel like .NET format is now... I can't... It's what exactly is going on here? These are two different commands. I run .NET format -f and it's like, yeah, I can't do a folder when doing whatever. And then when I run this, and it's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to run a very different version of .NET format. What the hell? Why? Are you just going to format the heck out of everything? Because that's really not what I want. Also, why are you taking so long? Oh my god. It's really painful. Do they build in .NET format in .NET 6 and make it just god-awful terrible slow? Certainly looks like it, doesn't it? Will this command complete today? You know what? I'm not gonna wait for this. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what you did. All right, well. All right, let's reopen the solution file. For starters, does it even build? Because possibility is it doesn't build. Because I'm sure there are span tests and things like that in there. And apparently nullable stuff. All right, so if nullable stuff is going to be in there, then we also have to fix this stuff. Needs to go down here. And nullable needs to be enabled. Right, so we've got value task things that don't work. Span things that don't work, memory things that don't work. And an argument formatter tests for a version of argument formatter that doesn't really work either. What are you pulling from X unit D3? Okay. Oh, already had spaces. Need one more of these, right? Exception assert tests. All right, anything that is async value task will just become async void. Actually, before I do that, let me say if X unit value task. Oh, well, this doesn't come in as a submodule, so the real question is going to be, do I care about this? Do I just delete it? I think I might comment it out. Wait, why? No. Yeah. That's fine. The red lights haven't caught up yet. We don't have a value task, so that's fine. We don't have a value task, so that's fine. Go to view. And we come over here. And we get rid of view. Skip just doesn't work at all. Oh, right. Skip's not going to work at all. So we definitely need to have a skip disabled. X unit skip. Let's see. The skip family of assertions. Define this to enable the skip assertions. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to have to say if X unit skip and if. And that way we won't get skip either. Okay. What else? memory. Do I want to comment these out, or do I just want to like put a big if false above stuff? Maybe do X unit memory. This one is span. What if I do that? Let's do that instead. X unit skip. Alright. All these the same. These should be X unit value task. Let's do that. Put you here. Put you here. I feel like I want to like if I'm going to do this, I should just backport all these. Well, forward port, I guess, is the right answer. Should forward port all of these. Really need that comment there. Don't know why I had it there in the first place. Why are you broken? Yeah, there was another one of you. This is equality asserts. Did I comment out stuff here? No, I just removed the X unit v3, didn't I? All right, let's get a get K running here too. That looks good. These are all going to look different because of spacing changes. So let's fix that. And these have all been reformatted as well. And then they just look like we added new stuff, which is exactly how it should look. Okay. Yeah, I should definitely forward port these again. These are some pretty simple changes. This stuff all looks good. We don't have record tests at all? Surprising. LF will be replaced by curlif. Yeah, makes sense. Build format source. Surprising that it didn't. Did I leave? Oh my god, don't ever do that. Thank you for building an editor config editor, but dear lord. No. Automatic. Automatic for the people. Thank you. Curlif, please. Why are you upset? Invalid token at root level. Why? Why is that an invalid token at the root level? Root is false. Is that... I don't believe you. What did I just say about... Jesus. Fuck. Stupid. Bullshit. Yeah, set as the default. Open it with the XML editor. Not a top level editor config. Great. So it thinks that everything that I put in here is illegal. Very well. Thank you for being dumb. Because I don't know actually what file type it thinks this is. I said automatic and it picked XML, which is probably why it's upset. Editor config, open with source code text editor with encoding. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Source code text editor. There you go. And my guess is, now if I rerun the format source, there we go, we got all our curlifs back. Okay, good. What else? So we have span if xunit span and if it's weird that that didn't trigger before. All right, guard is inaccessible due to its protection level. So that means I need to bring in guard from somewhere. Let's go look at this. You probably bring in guard, right? We'll come over here. But this is actually this. Link-based common, link-based asserts. I don't know. I guess that's probably better. Build. Guard does not contain a definition of not null. Let's ignore that for a moment. And then argument formatter itself. So we're missing xunit nullable for test xunit assert. That's interesting. I thought we had xunit nullable defined here. Oh, apparently I didn't do that. Now we're just left with no guard, not null. Easy enough to pluck from over here. Guard. Let's go find guard, not null. And over here, we will add a guard, not null. Say I don't need system IO, except I do need system IO. Whatever. Not null attribute. Alright, so that's not a good idea then. Let's undo all of this. And this was here. Right. Where were we broken? Here. We're just going to do this. And you can bring that in. Warning, type parameter T is the same name as type parameter from outer code. Yeah, T2, 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 T2. Sure. Whatever. Okay. Let's see if these tests all pass now. They really don't. A whole bunch of them don't. Oh, there are things that fail in execution and in runner utility just because the asserts changed? And all these question marks feel like we're missing like UTF-8 string asserts tests. Except I don't see anything in here that would require UTF-8 on this file. String asserts test equals success cases. String asserts tests equal success cases. Problem with the question marks is we really don't know what they are. It's really weird, right? Okay, so it looks like in that assembly, it's really just string asserts tests that are failing. It's possible that the implementation differences are to blame, right? Because we totally swapped out our implementation for the old one. All right, so theory acceptance tests. So these are interesting. These are all float related. Is this because argument formatter changed? Let's try this. Where does argument formatter live? Argument formatter. You live there, okay. So you come from, actually you should be coming from the same place, right? Xunit assert, asserts, SDK, argument formatter. Right, no differences. You definitely come from the same place. Huh. Hmm. Let's see. What is an easy way for us to get the diff here? So let's say get diff SDK argument formatter with v2. Let's see, how do I do this? I say v2 to head. Or maybe I do it like this. There we go. Oh yes, and we have to ignore white space. So definitely format has changed. It's returning values that nobody cares about anymore. We must have the old format here still somewhere, right? This looks like the old format that now returns things. Uh-huh. This is likely to be our problem, right? We format with G9 and G17. So then I think what we need to do, as an example then, let's go look at our failures. So let's go to XUnit 2 theory acceptance tests. So we put here like this. Like that's probably one that fails right now, right? Generic theory with serializable data. Yeah, so that one's failing. So we're already formatting 2112, we're just not formatting it the right way. And because it's a double, it's G17. So if I were to do this, let me undo that for a second. All right, let's make sure everybody's built. Now, if I do source xunit runner console, let's see, xunit console, bin debug net452 against test xunit, test xunit, where are these? These are in execution. Bin debug net472. Just xunit execution, so that'll get us how many failures? 11. So then let's change this to G17 and build. Let's see if we go down to 10 failures, or less than 11 anyway. There we go. So that's good. So I guess what I should be looking for here is then like that, and replace it with that. 7 occurrences. So that was all in that file. XUnit theory test case runner tests. I'm going to do the same thing here, which gets those two. Now we're basically, whoops, there's another one in there. So let's find 2.1. Okay. What is this last one? Test case bulk deserializer tests. This is deserialized facts and theories from same class still share the same fixtures. Huh. I don't see anything obvious here about why this should be failing. And not find, load any of the following assemblies: XUnit execution, desktop DLL. Really? XUnit execution, desktop DLL. Is it maybe because it doesn't run from this folder properly? Try this. Except execution desktop is right there. Okay. Go ahead and format the source. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So the execution test stopped failing. So there must be something about invoking that from the right folder that I'm not doing. It's fine. All right, let's go fix these two XUnit2 tests. These are in runner utility. Should be able to look for 2112 G17. Build this. Test XUnit runner utility, right? Runner utility, yep. Test XUnit runner utility DLL. Punch file not found for XUnit execution desktop. Whatever. It's fine. So now we're just left with string assert tests. So this is equal success cases. Is it really just all those success cases, huh? Fix me, Seymour. Okay. See how we're doing here. Missed an XUnit2 test? Surprising. Oh, look at that. It's no good. It's no good. Just lucky that it passed before. That's obviously not one of those that is done with... Yeah, so if this had been done with the... we have a fact that runs things in both English and French. We would have caught that just from the difference between dots and commas. Okay, so really we just have this one thing to figure out which of this data is broken and why. So we should be able to do this with bin debug test XUnit assert and skip. Very good. So that's string assert tests. Let's get rid of everything else. All right, you need to be skipped. Instead, what we're going to do is figure out which of these things are broken. All right. Take a little binary search. Let's run half of them. Okay. I mean, we thought we were seeing this before, so this is just like a space, and a space is equal to a tab. That should be okay, right? Is that going to be one that fails? Well, let's see if it's in white space differences here. Yeah, there's definitely values in white space differences here. Let's comment all these out, because somewhere in there is failures. Let's comment these back in. See if those are okay. Those are not okay. Those are also all broken. So it feels like, is this a difference in implementation? All right, let's copy this full path. Let's do a git diff on this. No, let's do a reset and then do the diff. There we go. Right, so these are all new. And they must be coming because of the span work. It's as near as I can tell. So these two were old, so these two should work, right? If I'm understanding my theory correctly. Oh, these are the ones that are broken. Actually, let's undo that, and then we'll undo that. And we'll put if x unit span right here. Build. So that gets me back to normal. So there, we added an empty value, but that apparently just works. And then we've got span here. Message formatting, and that all works okay. For the most part. And stuff all just works, huh? All right, now. Find async value task in tests. We need to make sure no async value task is slipped in, because what will happen is we will not recognize that it's a value task. And just ignore it. Okay, this should not be here, right? This should be if x unit value task. Oops. Oh, I missed that last time around. Okay. So that's it, right? All of these are inside if statements, which is just fine. Okay. So how come we don't have record tests anymore? What happened to record tests? Oh, they went into XUnit v3 core tests. XUnit v3 core tests. Did record move? Oh yeah. Why is there a separate version of record in v3 core and in asserts? These are very different things, aren't they? Oh. Certainly look different. We'll see how different they are. Oh, this is assert record and not record record. This is record record. So where does record live up here? Those are the record exert. So that's assert record exception. Oh, it is an XUnit core. So why are the tests? Yeah, okay. I don't know why the record tests were there then. All right. Let's restore this. And then rename it. Record tests over here live in just XUnit v3 core tests. So you should go into source XUnit v3 core. XUnit core. I don't know why I had v3 in my brain. Oh yeah, your move, not rename. No, MV. There you go. So record test moves into XUnit core. Oh god, bless America, that's not what I wanted. XUnit core test. XUnit core. Alright, I don't have core, I just have execution. That's fine. Should still count as a rename, right? So let's open up record tests. Since we didn't change record tests should just compile and pass. Okay, that looks good. So on the assert side, we have all of this for the back port, right? So there's memory, there's readme. We'll put next unit skip in the readme just to make sure that that doesn't actually show up, right? Skip asserts. Oh, right, I haven't brought that in yet. I'll just bring that in a minute. Through the normal way. Okay, so that looks like what I need. All right, if I were to say, give me... All right, those are the 4 things that have changed, right? Git diff cs. So we added span, skip, span, and then selectively added span with a new implementation, string asserts. All right, if I go into, let's see, source, xunit assert, asserts, span, skip, span, and then the selective span implementation. Okay. I'm curious, just like from mental exercise, oops, that's too far, if all the new tests will just continue to pass with the assertion library. I guess they won't. There you go. Yeah. Span asserts, right? Okay. So let's add all of this, and then let's amend it, and let's push it. And then we'll go here, and we'll fetch. We'll go back here. And we'll run builds. Okay. Fetch. This is test number 1. Assert does not contain definition for skip when. That makes sense because we didn't define wrong VS Code because we did not yet define xunit skip. Okay. It's a good sign, right? Got all the way to the MS build tests. Okay, the last thing I want to do then is go to source xunit v3 assert tests. Right. Find all the CS files, delete them all. Have an X copy, except now I want to pull the v2 source test, put them here. That's if it's called test xunit assert, right? That's why. Put them here. We'll do a quick .NET format F because of the curlifs. So now what's our diff here? Sure, that's all good. That's all good. All right, I'm going to close this out of VS Code. And I'm going to actually open it in Visual Studio. One too far. Let's make sure that my build is still doing its thing. No cultured fact, no value task. All right, so we need the using for value task, system threading tasks, which is fine. What else? Cultured fact comes from v3, huh? So this is where I deleted the using v3 and it just worked previously, and now it doesn't work over there. Where does cultured fact live over here? You're in test utility. In the xunit namespace. Actually, we'll go ahead and that'll be fine. Who else? Cultured theory. Makes sense. Cultured theory attribute. And discoverer. Okay, now who else? Nothing else. So really all I was missing was this system threading tasks, which I'm willing to put behind if xunit value task. All right. I think we have, so we don't have any async voids in here, so I can't do convert an async void into an async task to just make this show up here. So that's fine. We'll come over here to, this was collection of certs tests. All right, we'll do that. You're going to build fine, right? Okay. Let's run the tests over here. While we're doing that, we can go look at, I mean, we just sort of saw that this was doing its thing, but I mean, obviously we have value task here. Oh, you didn't get saved. Whatever. And then like these string asserts tests. All right, these are only if we do span. Those are enabled. So we are running all the tests we expect to run now. Which is good. Pretty sure we can close that Visual Studio because we're probably done with that. Looks good. I'm wondering if what I should do is I could put a get attributes. All right, let's do this. One moment, please. I minimize a little bit too much there. Let's do this. So I realize I could probably put a get attributes here and leave the line feeds. Then the files will really literally be identical, right? So if I go to test xunit, let's see, test xunit assert, right? And then let's copy get attributes. That should be all I need there, right? Let's do the editor config. We'll put you, oh, you are at line feed. Still. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird, right? Oh no, it's line feed. Sheesh. Weird. Now the attributes and the line feeds should line up. Apparently these two files need to be fixed. Easy enough, right? Easy enough. Okay, very good. We'll run the build over here now. This is all good. We'll run a couple of win diffs. That'll really make sure that I have everything lined up. Okay, while that's building. So let's win diff our source xunit v3 asserts folder with dev xunit v2 source xunit asserts folder. .get is different. Sure. Totally makes sense that would be different. Otherwise, everything there is identical. Very good. So source xunit v3 assert tests with test xunit v3 xunit dot test xunit assert. Okay, so csproj differences, don't care. Bin and obj, I don't care about. Bin and obj, I don't care about. Let's do this again after I do a clean. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. Not even sure how I got that as a possibility. All right, so you built cleanly, Let's kill Visual Studio. So actually go ahead and kill VS Code as well. We'll do a clean here. And a clean here. And then we'll do our WinDiff. All right, so you added editor config and get attributes. The two CS projects are different, of course, but all the files are identical. Very good. That's what I had been hoping to see. All right. So this is, so there's V2. Here's V3. So what's different in V3? We added skip. All right. We moved cultured fact and cultured theory into the namespace that wouldn't cause conflicts. We didn't need xunit internal anymore because of guard. We did add code analysis because of not null. Threading tasks moved down here for only value tasks. Makes sense. You don't need V3 there anymore. Surround, 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 surround. Surround. Don't need V3 anymore. I don't know why that didn't throw. Oh, you know why? This was probably marked as in the argument formatter. Marked as. No, I don't know why. This has to move down here because having this flag here is new in V3. So those just moved. Those got surrounded. Those got surrounded. Got surrounded, and we're pulling in a new assert. Okay, good. All right, commit. Pull in V2 backport for asserts and update tests to be more easily shared. Okay. Push you. And then over here. So we pull in a huge amount for asserts, right? It's been a long time since V2. We should probably get rid of the V2 branch now as well. All right, so we add nullable and enable it for asserts. With our references, we'd have added an editor config and a get attributes. We brought in all the new tests, which we've already verified are the same as everybody else. Okay, the csproj brought in nullable and enabled it. I don't think we actually need guard here, right? Because we got rid of the use of guard. We'll just open this in VS Code. It doesn't have to go in a big Visual Studio. So this was in xunit assert, test xunit assert proj. So test xunit assert, csproj. Don't think we need this. Let's go ahead and build without it. Make sure. We'll come back to that. And then more tests. Let's see, where was I? CS Proj. Oh yeah, so those tests had to be updated for G17. Record tests just got moved because they're not in the assert anymore. They really never should have been. These got G17, these got G17. Okay. Also pretty much what I expected. So we're done with assert. You can go away. And let's pop up the browser here. And go look at our action and make sure our action is going to succeed. So there's our action on main. Actually, let's move that into a new tab. There's our action on main. This works, okay. Curlift in the CS Proj. Oh, isn't that weird? How do you get curlift? Should have been lift. Because editor config. Oh. Actually, that should be like that. Let's go grab the editor config from XUnit. Off to the side, because we're taking line feeds all up. So this probably also already in the editor config here, right? Yes, okay, so we don't need that. Let's do this, right? So we don't need that. That's it. Yeah, so that's it with that. So CS Proj gets spaces, but it doesn't necessarily get, yeah, it doesn't necessarily get line feeds. Okay. Test XUnit, did I not? Like, did I really not? Test XUnit assert CS Proj. Line feeds. Should be line feeds, sir. Okay, that's better. And hey, we don't have a log here, so git commit backport assertion library from v3. That is what we did. Just because we manipulated things a little bit more than I would have liked there, I'll just go ahead and run that again. That'll only take a minute or two. This code, I think we're done with you. All right, how's our action on main? Running slowly. Reactions nodes are, you know, not as powerful as our desktop PC here. Plus my CI build turns off multi-threading. All right, we're making packages. Good sign. Signing packages. Good sign. You're welcome for that. Okay. How's this coming? That's all good, right? We'll go ahead and we'll push that up. Now let's also watch our build for V2. Okay. Our v3 build was all done. We knew that was going to succeed. Once you get to building the packages, it's the only thing that would really fail there is if the signing service was down. And I've honestly never seen a signing service be down. And all right. So while this is running, let's go take a quick peek in discussions. On form integration test from MVC. Right, I looked at this before and did not have an answer for that. I'll come back to that later. So let's assert that constraint after blah, blah, blah. Polling. Somebody would really like a poll. We have no way to tell execution is finished, generally for integration or component testing. All right. Is there any plan to implement this mission by design? I have to write my own code on web sleep. Hopefully having this would yeah. Yeah, I mean, in general, I'm okay with this. I think that, this fluent assert nonsense is not for me. So we would not actually do the fluent assert nonsense. But, I think I'm okay with that. I think I'll turn that into an issue. Feature issue. Triggering custom test failed events in message bus and custom execute test method. Okay. I need to implement a custom timeout for tests that will also work for sync code as well as async. Don't really care whether the actual test case TPL test to be stopped or no, but I want to stop the test itself. I did this via implementing custom execute test method runner. Run test case async like below. Rest of the code is taken from here. Okay, pay attention to yield testable case wrapper. Yieldable test case wrapper. Just a wrapper of a test case supports task yield to return control immediately to the caller and don't block executing. This is mostly working. I have two questions. Regularly, a test case triggers more events than just test failed. Is it enough to trigger only this event and don't trigger, let's say, test case disposing started? I also sometimes I see this error. There's no currently active test. For below cases that should not fail less than 5,000 milliseconds. Okay. This is certainly more involved than I want to look at right now. Message sync for collection fixture does not generate output. Trying to add diagnostic output to my execute test. This I'm combining collection fixture and iMessage sync. This is my code. Diagnostic messages are true. I expect hello world within the output of the test runner. Fixture sync, iMessage sync. Fixture sync. Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Okay, I know what the problem is there. I'll just have to come back to that one. Alright, so nothing new there that matters much. Few issues to look at. Not going to bother with that. Couple of PRs for V3, I assume. Let's go take a quick look at these and see if they're for V2 or V3. Oh, this is an old one. Yeah, this is just showing up because every time I push the V3 TCP runner, it runs the tests again and fails. That's fine. And this, oh yes. Please utilize that failure finish for the full hierarchy that has been captured at this point. I'll come back and answer that. Okay. This assert distinct from 2019 still sitting out here. I believe because I was trying to decide what I wanted to do about that exactly. All right, X unit analyzers, nothing new here. These are the 2 old ones from 4 years ago, and then that's it. Okay, how are we doing over here? We appear to be basically just about done. All right, so that should be 24212, right? 242 pre 11 F5, 242 pre 12. All right, so there you go. There's 2-4 with the backported assertions. Let's go tweet about that. Why not, right? Let's go tweet about that. Twitter. Let's see. I just shipped XUnit v242 pre-12 with the backport of the assertion library updates from v3. Because of the target framework, this does not include assertions related to span of T, memory of T, and value task. Also, because assert.skip and friends rely on v3, that's out too. In addition, test code from v2 and v3 for the assertion library is also synced up. So if you're pushing an assert into v3, we will also backport it into v2. Use things like if XUnit value task around conditional tests, like, and then let's go grab GitHub XUnit, yeah. Like we'll go to v2, we'll go to the tests, and we'll go to see, where were all the value task things in there? Come on. So like collection asserts tests. So like this. Oh. This isn't exactly the best example. Right? I think maybe the exceptions asserts tests will be better. Like, here's an example. Copy a permalink. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Excellent. Okay. I think that's it for today. Can't think of anything else needs to be done. So, yeah, let's call it there. Thanks for hanging out while I did the assertion stuff. It wasn't a little bit more involved than I thought, but pretty much what I expected. And I sort of figured it would take about an hour and a half, and it took an hour and 49 minutes. So, you know, what are you going to do? 19 minutes more than I anticipated. All right, cool. Well, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully, I can get back on the normal schedule of trying to stream at least once a week. So hopefully see you next time means see you next week.